Boys and girls, look what we've got here. Now, in my defense, this is the prototype, or the reference one, as I always call it. Stays with Daddy. Every future one will be built from this, so all the bugger-ups on here won't be on the production versions. However, even so, it came out very, very nice. And I've done some new techniques. I don't know if you can see. I've polished this thing with the Tamiya wax and stuff. And I've used Mr. Color's paint, their lacquer paint, which changed the whole effect on the model. Really, really nice. Also, of note, I just put these on brass steps from Klein Getrein, buddy of mine in Pretoria. That makes them out of brass. Very, very nice. So this is happiness. I am very, very chuffed with it. Very intricate wagon to build. Very, very difficult. Because there's a lot of stuff on this thing that doesn't make sense. Now, if you look at it from the front here, you see that there is actually wider than the chassis. So all these beams go in like that. That being the one problem. And then the other one is this beam here also edges in towards the front bulkhead. So, and inside there's a whole lot of stuff going on because it's got the air brakes and the vacuum brakes. And yes, it's difficult to work in there. I'm trying to figure out on the next one which is the sequence of fitment is going to be. Look, it's going to be an expensive wagon because there's a lot of stuff here that's made out of brass that can't be done in resin. Like this, for instance. You see all those had to be bent, hole drilled, rivet put in because it's load bearing. If those were resin and you press that pipe through and bend and carry on, you will break it off. And then obviously this here, that was all actually printed. Very, very good job. You see that? That's all printed. That's resin. And that's cool. Okay, the boomerangs here, the one on the other side. Look at the decals at the bottom there on the chutes. Whoop, two. Open, shut. So, yeah, it's a difficult wagon to build. Because a lot of things don't make sense. But I'm quite happy with how it turned out. And this was a quintessential wagon for the SAR. I mean, there's still hundreds of thousands of these running. Well, not hundreds of thousands. Thousands of these running every day. So reference pics are easy to come by. Oh, look, we had a couple of stuff-ups like I delaminated. I went into hard with a sander here and it actually delaminated. So it's stuff like that we need to sort out on the new one. And then price-wise, this is very thick. And because it has a floor, on this body actually comes with a floor. So it makes it heavier and more expensive. Also, another thing, check how busy this thing is underneath. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Yes. Very intricate wagon. And for a first one, I was actually quite chuffed that it came out as well. It took me a bloody week to do it. Also, first is we're printing these now in resin. Now, if I shoot that with my finger, I will shoot it off. I will break that. It's a bit of they're strong enough, but I would prefer that in brass. But I'll speak to Carl later and see if he can etch that for me. So what do you guys think? I think it's extremely pretty. And also if you look at the side, the side view of this thing, it's a pretty looking hopper. You know, there's nothing spectacularly different. A hopper is a hopper, eh? And it's just the ends normally that differ, but these were also done in a 4-chute at the bottom. But the 3 chutes were just bigger, and it gives you that low slung look over the track that I like. Also, we've got our new couplers on here. This is the third rail coupler. It's not the KD, so I'm pulling them in very, very sharply so that we can get the distances between the wagons shorter and more prototypically right. Okay, So yeah, there you have it. FGLJ grain wagon, done and dusted. Let me know what you think. And yeah, okay, all right. I also said to the guys, I mustn't worry too much about this waviness that we have going here, because I was in a hurry, man. And the actual profile that goes in there is a quarter round. This is square evergreen, and that stuff is very soft. So it actually followed in between the beams a bit, which was not good. But on the production version, that will obviously not happen. Yes. Very, very intricate wagon. I mean, these little plates, all these are made out of brass, because this was the other problem. You can resin print stuff, and it'll work there. I can print that into that frame, but it's too thick then. I mean, you're looking at a 1 and a 2 millimeter thick. That's 0.3. I mean, it's thin, and that's what it should look like. So, it's like Uncle Brian Franklin said to me, if you're not sure how thick a thing is, rather go too thin than too thick. It's a model. It must look like a model. But look at that. Yes. Yeah, and the other thing that I'll change on the production version, as Uncle Brian said, this is too thick. This is a 1.2 mil. I will go get some 1 millimeter brass rod and put that in there, because it's quite a bit thinner than that. The rest of it, the vacuum pipes, everything seems to be the right size, looks right, feels right. Yes. That's basically it. I'm going to be out of your hair. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hey, look, I even put on when last the bearings were serviced on the bogies. If the guys will wake up, they will see that there is actually the wrong decal, because the dates are different. Hey, it's a reference one. It's just to see what it looks like. This thing here that looks like a pregnant fairy, you just turn, because I haven't glued them in yet. You see, that's better. So there's supposed to be an air pipe here as well, because this has got air brakes as well, air pipe. I'll speak to Fiona and see if we can't print one there with the necessary couplings at the end, because it's a very pretty pipe. It's got that funny knuckle couple thing where they like twist into each other. So dudes and dudettes, that's it. I'm going to be out of your hair tomorrow or the day after, because I hear outside it's just grinding and stuff. I will go show you the train room. It is looking spectacular. The oaks are moving arse. We're about 1/3 covered on the outer edges, but I'll show you tomorrow. Goed kerels, tot later dan. Tot ziens.